This is the Web Design Freedom channel, and this is going to be the first in a series of videos that's going to help give you the mindset and tools you need to gain the financial freedom to live the life you want with the power of web design and marketing. So if that sounds good, please leave a comment, subscribe, and let's get to it. So making 10K a month has been something of an entrepreneurial flagship goal that's been thrown around in more recent times for people trying to get out of the so-called rat race. And I get it. For most people, it would be a great income to live a pretty comfortable life, especially by dodging the traditional 9 to 5 as a means of acquiring it. The main problem I see among people trying to shoot for that 10K a month milestone is they have sort of a tendency to put the cart before the proverbial horse, and understandably so. Seeing that kind of income for the first time is pretty exciting, so it's only natural wanting to go gung-ho and try and hit it as soon as possible. Who wouldn't be excited by that? Guru culture has been pretty good at inundating us with the idea that we should be making more than a doctor's salary in the first week of starting a business. Of course, as a result of this, a lot of people get caught up in the hype and immediately start gunning for that magic 10K number before they've made their first sale, gotten a client, or even drafted a process to get them either. Now, don't get me wrong, it's completely fine to have it as a goal to shoot for, but if you're trying to do it completely from scratch, trying to reach it immediately is like trying to sprint before you even know how to crawl. You have to know the road you're on in order to know where it's taking you. So a much better way of reaching 10K per month is actually focusing on that first transaction before anything else. The main reasons why we want to do this is because, firstly, that first sale you make online is going to give you context for what online business is like. The first sale bridges the gap between your aspirations and reality, and this is important to remember because this is a bridge that the majority of people never even cross. The psychological component of this is without doubt the most important, and it's what makes the main difference between success and failure. Having the context from getting your first client is going to pave a crystal clear path to getting you to those 10K months and beyond, should you choose to. Lastly, it's by far the easiest way to keep track of your progress, so that in the event that you head off track, you can spot your missteps before you find yourself getting too off course. In addition to all this, the process of getting your first transaction will have you start looking at things from a concrete, actionable cause and effect basis. I do this action, I get this result predictably, and so on. When you immediately focus on a specific monetary amount without having experienced firsthand the transaction process, things start to get a lot more abstract, and you'll risk distracting yourself on things you don't necessarily need to focus on. We want to start small and work our way up, and that definitely doesn't mean we'll stay small for long. What do I mean by starting small? Here's an example. If I were to immediately try charging 20K for a landing page, it's going to be a much harder sell. And that's not even to say you don't already have the skills to pull it off, but when you're just starting out, you're likely not going to have the leverage nor momentum needed to charge that kind of money. There's nothing stopping you from trying to jump right into high-ticket sales, but it's so much easier when you've established yourself and have a working process in place that you're already familiar with. Tools that'll give you exactly what you need to fast-track to these goals. Link is in the description if you don't mind checking it out. Plug aside, your first focus above all else should be to clarify the first step you need to take. Take a second to evaluate where you're at right now. If you haven't made a sale or gotten a client, starting out is a bit tricky because you don't have much of a gauge for the value of your work. Let me say that the amount of money you make in the beginning is nowhere near as important as simply getting the ball rolling, because in time, it's going to snowball. Before you worry yourself with things like the market value of what you're producing for your clients, such as landing pages, copywriting, and other deliverables, familiarize with the transaction and service delivery process first and foremost. I promise you the results will be worth it. Once we understand how the sale is made and our process for getting them, this is where we start making moves towards specific income goals. This video is a simple mindset shift. I'm planning to go much more in depth on this later on in the series. In the next video, we're going to be laying out a full 12-week plan to get you your first online web design clients, even as a total beginner. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.